Hello. Daunting. A lot of people think it's unsportsmanlike conduct, but I don't really see it that way. Dana White said that the UFC is the closest form of actual fighting you can have in civilized society. Rolling with that notion, I don't see an actual fight being about acting sportsmanlike. Not at all. I don't even think it's about showing off how manly you are. None of that is relevant. In an actual fight, it's all about winning. Period. If you simulate a fight, and if I were to compare that to an actual fight, I would literally do anything and everything I was capable of doing to win. I don't care what I look like. Surviving and coming out victorious is all that matters to me. And it should, to anyone who genuinely wants to win. We aren't playing badminton here. This is the closest to real combat as it gets. That sounds like a very harsh mentality, and a lot of you will point to my Ronda video, but I take it back. You're right. All is fair in love and war. We must recognize that battle is not just about body, but also the mind. Retaining your mind, retaining who you are while you attempt to destroy your opponent, either with fist or psychological warfare. Let's begin counting down 5 top fighters who use taunting. Tony Ferguson. Tony Ferguson was a man who stumbled into the MMA arena out of dumb luck. Really, he was working 2 jobs and randomly a patron invited him into an MMA class. His natural aptitude and passion for sports at an early age paired with an insane work ethic made it almost seem as if it were destined to happen. All of that being said, he did not just excel at MMA. His entire mindset was psychotic, doing whatever it takes. Whatever you have to do to win. Perfect example was doing his Rafael dos Anjos fight. The man was completely calm, but at the same time, in between rounds, he would blow kisses to RDA. He would make faces, and you could clearly see him fucking with RDA. He truly is a man hungry for victory. Not only does he work to refine his techniques to perfection, adding creative twist here and there, he taunts his opponents. But you can clearly tell that taunting isn't natural to his personality. Instead, you can tell again, he is a man hungry to do whatever it takes for victory, which is the mark of a true warrior. In the eyes of Sun Tzu, one of the greatest generals of all time, he would tell you, it does not matter if you're famed, it does not matter if you look good or bad. In war, victory is all that matters. Cody, Garbrandt. Cody made headlines with his victory over the brilliant Dominic Cruz. It was actually surprising watching Cody because before the fight, he was crying. He was emotional. It looked as if he didn't have the mental game to sustain himself in the arena. Turns out, we were wrong. He is a completely different animal in the octagon. A man who took his street thug life and used that bulletproof real G mindset to not only get into Dominic Cruz's highly intelligent mind, but secure a victory for himself. The man is a savage in flow, but at the same time has this playfulness to him, swapping between killer instinct and clowning like a gangsta. This is really annoying because not only does it piss off his opponent, it is striking, but with such heavy hands, he is not someone you want to engage recklessly. Even a highly intelligent fighter like Dominic Cruz fell for it a few times. You don't have to have a brilliant mind to have a solid mind. Nick Diaz. Nick doesn't just taunt you. He legitimately wants to know that, yeah, sure, he's kind of a nice guy, but at the same time, wants to kill you. Wearing his heart on his sleeve and wearing Stockton bitch on his heart, he brings where he comes from into the arena. His entire soul immerses the environment with the heavy scent of Stockton. He makes the real life he's felt all too real for his opponent, and we fans pick up on it. We don't hate it. We don't call it clowning around. That was everything the ruthless world of Stockton etched into this man's heart. This is so powerful because it allows tremendous entitlement to taunting your opponent. Being real and showing your heritage allows you to get away with it all with less criticism. We all love Nick, despite his trash talk. Actually, no. We love Nick for his trash talk. Conor McGregor. This guy is the ultimate. I don't know how this happened or why, but his ability to get into his opponent's mind is on another level. Maybe it was the countless bar fights. I don't even know if you're allowed to graduate high school without getting into a bar fight, but one thing is for certain. His verbal prowess is unparalleled. Part of it is definitely the law of attraction. Him smashing your law of attraction with his, overwhelming you, changing your self-perception and not letting a seed of confidence enter your mind. Another is just a deep hunger to win. He believes he deserves it more than anyone else, and he's willing to do anything to achieve that goal. Whether it be outside the arena, he understands the mental game well, and when paired with the unparalleled precision, you've got a recipe for massacre. In his words, the UFC is a ruthless business, and he is the most ruthless. Roy Jones. Roy has always been very unorthodox with his style. They tell you in boxing, keep your hands up, or you'll get knocked out. Instead, he leaves his hands down and uses brilliant distance management in its place. If you try coming into the pocket with this guy, he can drop you with a sharp counter. But if you don't, that's where the magic happens. That's where he seeks to mentally mess with you before he uses that large range of motion he has with his hands to his side to drop you. Psychological warfare. From not looking at his opponents while throwing a punch to their face to dancing, Roy is a master of the mind, fucking his opponent, and he was definitely legendary at it. I hope this video has enlightened you to the psychological aspect of the fight game. Before the battle even begins in the body, it begins in the mind, and it persists until someone loses. When it comes to a fight, that's just life, and you can pretend it doesn't exist, be butthurt about it, but the moment you do, know, before a punch has even been thrown, these men would ruthlessly crush your mind before the bell even rings, and persist doing so as the fight continues. I know, this is not why we get into fighting. And to be honest, I don't want you to think of yourself as a savage for taunting for playing mind games. I don't want you to think you're losing your own calm mind. I think your mind should always be calm, and you should always be in your flow state. But at the same time, understand the psychological game exists and use that to your advantage if you can. Why not? If it's life and death, or if it's simulating life and death, if it's not badminton, why the hell not? I wouldn't recommend this with your training partners, it's not a good way to train your techniques and such like that. Maybe there should be a curriculum that taught you how to sustain taunting and to work with taunting or mind games in general. Maybe that should be a part of traditional martial arts, but who knows, it's always evolving. The martial arts world is always growing. It's always becoming different. The Gracies changed it with jiu-jitsu. We're entering a new era, and this era will recognize the mind. Thank you all for watching. Please don't forget to smash that like button if you enjoyed. It's good karma. And until next time, peace.